On a Sunday morning, Craybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
It's great to be along with you for another edition of the show. We have a lot to sort out today as we get into everything that happened yesterday in sports, just yesterday, with what we're going to call here on the first part of this show, the world's longest sportscast. Technically, it's not the longest sportscast in the world, but it's going to feel like it because we're going to be able to go through everything. You know, I get about 3 minutes for sportscasts in the morning, so now I'm going to add about 17 minutes to that. What do you think about that? We're going to run it down right here. Of course, on KMOX yesterday, you had the St. Louis Billikens. We will hear that. We're going to hear from Josh Schertz on the show today. Yes, this is the home of the St. Louis Cardinals, and we'll hear from Chaim Bloom on the show today at 11:30, President of Baseball Operations. Yes, this is the home of Bernie Miklasz, and we're going to hear from the Hall of Fame columnist on the way at 11:45. He's a member of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in various halls and credentials. He is Bernie, man. He's going to be with us at 11:45. The Hall of Fame broadcaster for Indiana University, Don Fischer. There's no one better than him in college sports, and the voice of the Hoosiers is going to join us at 11:15 to talk about our Indiana Hoosiers. He and I are among hundreds of thousands, millions actually, who are pulling for this team to win a national championship. They take on Miami on the 19th. Don Fischer with us at 11:15. And, of course, we'll talk some Blues. They were in the news yesterday. A lot going on. So we're going to get into all of it here right away, plus the U.S. Figure Skating Championships going on at Enterprise Center, and on it goes. Let me start with, actually, the Bears. I think that's what a lot of people are talking about today. Two things. One, that the Packers had an absolute collapse last night at Soldier Field. And two, that the Chicago Bears are still alive. The Bears were down 21-3 at halftime. The Bears were down 27-16 with under 7 minutes to go. They score a touchdown and add a 2-point conversion, which was key because it gave them an opportunity, if they were to score again, to go up by 4 points and force the Packers, who could not kick a field goal. McManus missed 2 of them, into having to score a touchdown to beat them. And it's exactly what happened. Down in this ball game, it was 27-24, and the Bears are driving again with Caleb Williams, and he has a chance to put the Bears on top. The call on Westwood One, Ryan Radke and Mike Golick.
First down and 10. Williams will line up in the shotgun. He's got Swift to his left. 3 receivers out to the left side of the formation. Burden in short motion. Williams gets the snap. 4-man rush. Pumps to his left. Goes deep. Got a man open. It's Moore. He's got it. Into the end zone. Touchdown Bears. Touchdown Bears. DJ Moore. Caleb Williams with a strike. And the Bears have taken the lead with 1:43 to go. A 25-yard touchdown. And the Bears lead 30-27.
Carrington Valentine, the cornerback, got beat to the outside. Evan Williams, the safety, couldn't get over to help in time. DJ Moore absolutely wide open. Caleb hits him in stride.
Now Cairo Santos for another big PAT. Here's the snap, the spot, the kick from Santos. It is good. And the Bears lead is 31-27 with 1:43 to go. Their first lead since it was 3-0. And the Chicago Bears, who 6 times during the regular season won a game when they trailed with less than 2 minutes to go, have taken the lead in their playoff opener.
This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yes, it is, but there is still time for the Packers. This Green Bay team, which failed in the second half to score more than 6 points, does have a chance here, down by 4, and Jordan Love, their quarterback, is moving them down the field. He's moving the chains. He gets it down to the Chicago 28, and this is how it sounded on Westwood One.
3 receivers left, 2 right. Love gets the shotgun snap. He dropped it. Back to pass. Love in trouble. Spins out to his left. No time on the clock. Moving right. Steps up. Love looking. Still looking. He's going to throw it up to the end zone. Intercepted. No, it's dropped. It doesn't matter. The game is over. It's all over. The Chicago Bears, for the first time since 2010, have won a playoff game. The drought is over in the Windy City. Bears 31, Packers 27, and the Bears will host the divisional round next week. The Chicago Bears, down 21-3 at halftime, rally back and win it. The Bears will play on. The Packers are done.
Called by Ryan Radke on Westwood One. The Chicago Bears are moving on to the divisional round, and not only are they playing another playoff game, they're hosting another playoff game at Soldier Field in January. 31-27, Caleb Williams, terrific. Ben Johnson, under pressure, gets the great play calls out there to Williams and his receivers, and they make it happen. And Williams is a winner. What a quarterback, and what a team the Chicago Bears team is, with a horrendous defense in the first half. But they lock it down in the second half and find a way to win. This Bears team has some magic to it, and they win 31-27 over the Packers. As for Green Bay, a lot of speculation, a lot of anger right now among Packers fans, and some talk that it is possible the Packers could move on from their coach, Matt LaFleur. Green Bay has to make a decision here as to whether they're going to extend LaFleur or let him go. And Adam Schefter connected the dots today on ESPN, saying that John Harbaugh, who was recently fired by the Ravens, does have connections to Green Bay. The former president of the Packers, and there's a connection there. Mr. Harlan, his son Brian, is John Harbaugh's agent. You have Harbaugh owns property in Wisconsin, and there could very well be a change. We'll see if that does take place up at Green Bay for the Packers, or if LaFleur hangs on to the job. And by the way, LaFleur is not a bad coach. I mean, if he gets fired by the Packers, he'll move right up the list as one of the top candidates to land a job somewhere else in the NFL, because there are a lot of vacancies right now, as you know. The Rams beat Carolina. It was not supposed to be this close, but it came down to a final moment for Matthew Stafford, who is a clutch player. He has been a good quarterback in his career, and he connected with Colby Parkinson on a 19-yard touchdown with 43 seconds left in the game to come back and beat Carolina 34-31. Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker, with the extra point to make it a 3-point game, and then Carolina could not finish it off. They played valiantly but lost to the Rams 34-31, so L.A. survives. The top seeds will play the lowest seeded team remaining, so it's still unknown what those matchups look like. We've got to get through today and tomorrow's NFL playoff schedule first. Buffalo at Jacksonville today at noon. Scott Jagow should be pacing in the newsroom at this point. The Bills fan is waiting to see what they're going to do at Jacksonville. We'll have our NFL picks at 11:05 for you. San Francisco at Philadelphia. That kicks off at 3:30. The Eagles have been very good at home throughout their postseason history, especially with this current regime, and they are the defending Super Bowl champions. The Chargers at New England, the new kids on the block, the New England Patriots. These are not your father's New England Patriots. This is the Mike Vrabel era, and the Patriots are led by Drake May, their outstanding quarterback, taking on Justin Herbert and the Chargers tonight in Foxborough. And then tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers, who is your father's quarterback, will be playing for the Steelers, taking on Houston. 7:15 kickoff on Monday Night Football in the playoffs, and then we will know everything that sorts out for the divisional round. We'll talk it over at 11:05. I'll give you my picks against the spread, of course, for the 4 games remaining in the playoffs. As I mentioned, Don Fischer, the voice of the Hoosiers, joins me coming up at 11:15 right after that to talk about the college football playoff national championship in Miami, the Miami Hurricanes and the number 1 Indiana Hoosiers. Yesterday in Philadelphia, St. Louis University taking on LaSalle. I looked at this as a trap game after that emotional win over VCU, and LaSalle plays in that little gym. You really have to be careful here and make sure that nothing crazy happens to you. Well, something crazy did happen, and it happened on this play. SLU with an unbelievable player in Kellen Thames.
He brought in their 7-footer, by the way, stolen away by Thames. Does he keep it in bounds? Between the legs for Q to the lane. Screen by Thames. Layup, Jones. What else can Kellen Thames do? The ball was going out of bounds. He fell out of bounds, flipped it back to midcourt between his legs.
But he did it beautifully. His legs, as he flew through the air like he was jumping over a hurdle, and he flipped the ball between his legs, Harlem Globetrotter style, to Quentin Jones for the layup. What a great call by Bob and Earl, and what a moment for the Billikens as they had the lead at that point, 33-22. It was 40-22 after this.
Here comes Kellen. He got hit. Scoops it to the corner. Sharma. Bang! Instant Sharma's going to get you.
Kellen doing a nice job of drawing the defense, not trying to take too much.
Yeah, Thames is involved in every play, it seems. He penetrates, kicks it out. He makes acrobatic saves. He throws down windmill dunks. He is the straw that stirs the drink for this Billikens team. I used to say that about Avila, but Avila is the star. He's the face. Thames is the X factor, the one that they didn't have last year. After all of his cramping issues, that was a big loss for them. Now you see him back, and he is an incredible athlete. You can't stop him when he's going downhill. You just can't. I mean, they have a real difficulty doing it. And if you try to stop some of these penetrating Billiken players, you're going to be left with Ravi Avila floating around the 3.
Penetrates back to Robbie. Out on top. Bang! Robbie Avila.
The 6-foot guard doing a nice job drawing the defense, kicking it to the 6'10" center.
And the Billikens take a massive lead there, 56-38. They let LaSalle back into it a little bit, but they end up winning this game by 12. Final score was 84-72. With that win, the Billikens are now 15-1 overall and 3-0 in the A-10. They do have one issue, which we'll talk to Josh Schertz about here at the bottom of the hour, and that is fouls. They are fouling a lot. They've got to get that calmed down somehow. McCautry had 4, Avila had 4, Otieno had 4, Green had 3, Sharma had 3. They got to settle down on the fouls. The foul discrepancy is just a little much at this point. LaSalle shot 39 free throws to St. Louis's 22 attempts. LaSalle missed 13 free throws, though. They were 26 of 39, and the SLU was 16 of 22. Big difference there. The Billikens get the win, 84-72. Speaking of free throws, Missouri had trouble knocking theirs down. They were only 50% from the line last night in a loss at Ole Miss, 76-69. St. Louis looks good and looks like the best team in the state to me. Mizzou, I thought, could have made a statement last night and said, do not forget about us. We're 3-0 in the SEC. Well, that didn't happen. They dropped one in Ole Miss by a final of 76-69. Illinois is the best team in the entire region. They're the 16th ranked team in the country, but they'll have their hands full today. 11 o'clock tip coming up here against Iowa. If you want to catch that one while you're listening to us, it'll be on Fox. We invite you to do that, of course. Illini and Iowa today at 11 o'clock. Elsewhere in college basketball yesterday, it was Morehead State beating SEMO 71-69. Arkansas Little Rock topped Lindenwood 82-74. Missouri State a win over Florida International 79-71. UIC beats Illinois State. Redbirds lose again in overtime 63-59. Meanwhile, the Blues, they fell at Vegas. Final score was 4-2 in that one. They also lost Philip Broberg. He got hit into the boards by Mark Stone in a moment that really ticked off Blues fans. They had just learned that Broberg had signed a 6-year contract extension, and after that, he gets drilled by Stone, who has been a problem for a long time. The Blues fans, he is enemy number one over on that Vegas team. So Braden Shen decided to drop the gloves and pummel Stone a little bit. Stone did not look very good after Shen beat him up yesterday. So, we're going to look at that a little further. We're going to wait until 10:45 to hear from Doug Armstrong and some of the players and Coach Jim Montgomery. But the Blues, after winning back-to-back games at home, go on the road and lose 3 in a row. I'll maintain something is not right with the Blues. Maybe they're just not good, but they just look extremely off to me. And I trace it all the way back to losing at the last second to Winnipeg. I just think that haunts the team. And, they're going to come home and play back-to-back games here against Carolina and Tampa Bay. And, I wish the best for the Blues, but they just don't seem like a team. The Colorado game is the one that did it for me. Just when you thought maybe they're starting to get some pieces back together, they didn't look like they belonged on the same ice, the same sheet of ice as the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, that was just embarrassing. Not to mention the Blackhawks scored a touchdown on them. Right now, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships going on at Enterprise Center, the final day. The Olympic team will be announced later today. We'll have all of that news on KMOX. And some big signings. One of them, which has gone down, and another one, which is in the works, according to reports. Let's do the in the works one. And that would be that, according to multiple reports yesterday, St. Louis City SC is on the verge of signing a midfielder. And a good one from the New York Red Bulls, Daniel Edelman, a 22-year-old who was the U.S. Youth National Team captain at the U20 World Cup, and he is finalizing a deal with City. According to Tom Bogert, was the first that I saw with this report, the MLS insider. Also does a lot of work just in the soccer community with the U.S. men's national team, and that Edelman will be joining St. Louis City SC soon. No official word. St. Louis City SC, by the way, was in full attendance at the Herman Trophy Awards on Friday night. You had coach, you had sporting director, you had the front office. It was great to see everybody over there. Yohan DeMay, you had Corey Ray, and you had so many others gathered there. It was nice to see the support they have for college soccer and the men's and women's winners on Friday night at the Missouri Athletic Club. The other signing would be Alex Bregman, who has agreed on a 5-year, $175 million deal with the Chicago Cubs. And the third baseman, it's not official yet, but the free agent third baseman, it broke yesterday during the Bears game, actually, that Bregman was headed to the Cubs. We'll talk to Chaim Bloom on the way at 11:30 here on Sports on a Sunday morning. And we'll also get into a college basketball visit with Josh Schertz at 10:30. We're going to talk Blues at 10:45, NFL playoff picks at 11:05, Don Fischer, the voice of the Hoosiers, at 11:15, Chaim at 11:30, Bernie at 11:45. Big show. Hope you enjoyed the world's longest sportscast. We didn't even get into some other things. I know you're hankering for that NBA rundown and other stuff, but I can't do it all. But I will leave some hanging out there for later in the show. We got to take a break. Back in a moment. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
A new season, new faces, a new direction. The road to the 2026 St. Louis Cardinals season begins at the Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up, January 17th and 18th at Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village. The Cards are building for the future, and KMOX has exclusive coverage starting at 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Hear from players, alumni, and Cardinals leadership about what's ahead. Exclusive coverage of the Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Hey, Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference for our humans?
Born ready.
Discover how extraordinary guide and service dogs change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP10 for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP10. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP10 for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Great to be back with you. A sad note yesterday, after all of the sports and all of the fun that was happening yesterday and the days before. Of course, my Indiana Hoosiers going to the national championship game, and a lot of fun. My friends and I were quickly hit with the sobering news that one of our favorite musicians had passed away. Bob Weir, one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead, passed away at the age of 78. Bobby was not only an influence to all of us musically, but he was someone that was famously a sports fan in the Bay Area. And I thought that, a lot of things I thought very highly of Bob. After Jerry Garcia passed away in the 90s, Bob took over the Grateful Dead. And while a lot of people, I think thought of the Dead as Jerry Garcia's band, Bob was able to keep it moving in a new direction to where I feel like generations of fans who weren't alive when Jerry was alive are Grateful Dead fans, in part because of Bob's energy towards keeping that band going and bringing together new people to play their music. But I go back to him being a sports fan, and I always enjoyed the TV shots, the fan shots of seeing Bob there, or if he was on the field singing the national anthem or what have you out in the Bay Area. Big 49ers fan, big Giants fan. SportsCenter did a really good job, I thought, this morning on the life of Bob Weir.
Weir, guitarist, singer, and founding member of the Grateful Dead, has died at age 78. In a statement, his family said Weir had beaten cancer but succumbed to underlying lung issues. Weir joined the band in 1965 at just 17 years old.
Trev, the Dead were known as the kings of psychedelic rock, selling millions of records, entertaining maybe the most dedicated fans of music at concert worldwide for decades. Weir was a passionate sports fan, known for following San Francisco teams. He called himself, quote, a pathological fan of the 49ers. He said it started during childhood. Weir often wore Niners gear on stage, was a regular on the sideline at big games. In 2014, Weir compared his music to the 49ers dynasties.
I love playing in bands. Everybody has to feel each other and work with each other and improvise as one. Any of the other greats in 49er history had something of that quality. They loved the game for what football is. It's such a complex sport. You need your buddies to do exactly what you know they're going to do. You have to improvise in a way that your other guys are going to understand it and be able to intuit what you're going to be doing. And that's what makes greatness. And the 49ers were able to achieve that. That's when football gets really good. It's glorious to watch.
49ers tight end George Kittle, on the eve of playing the Eagles in Philadelphia, on his IG story posted a picture of Bob with a broken heart emoji. Weir's from the Bay Area, but on the East Coast, he was honored by the Empire State Building, donning tie-dye colored lights in honor of Bob. Weir is survived by his wife, Natasha, and their daughters, Monet and Chloe. Bob Weir, dead at age 78.
Really nice job there by SportsCenter on the life of Bob Weir. We will take a break. When we come back, the head coach of the St. Louis Billikens, Josh Schertz, on Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler and Dr. Adam Voss at the Audiology Center. When was the last time you really enjoyed a conversation without straining to hear?
Charlie, so many people think hearing aids just make things louder.
But that's old technology. Today's hearing aids do so much more.
Exactly. With the dual chip technology, our hearing aids actually separate the speech from the background noise.
Which means, at a noisy restaurant, you'll hear your friends and family, not the clinking dishes.
And the best part, your brain doesn't have to work overtime trying to fill in the blanks.
So that keeps your mind sharp, your conversations easy, and your relationships stronger.
Because hearing well isn't just about sound, it's about staying connected.
Thanks, Doctor. Call the Audiology Center today to schedule your annual hearing evaluation. Don't miss another moment. Call 636-441-7470 or visit theaudiologycenterstl.com.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
At Audien Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Discover how you can make unforgettable memories with a home equity line of credit from Royal Banks of Missouri. Whether you're dreaming of a winter family getaway, planning your next home renovation project, or considering an investment in your education goals, a home equity line of credit is a flexible and convenient option to fund life's most memorable moments on your schedule. Our local bankers are here to help you achieve your short and long-term financial goals. Call 314-212-1500. That's 314-212-1500. Visit us online at royalbanksofmo.com or stop by a Royal Banks location near you for more details on how you can tap into your home's equity and get the most out of its current value. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Let's get right into it with the head coach of the St. Louis Billikens. Our Billiken Report is sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri, and we welcome back into the show the head coach at SLU, Josh Schertz. Coach, great to have you. Congrats on the win over LaSalle, 84-72.
Appreciate it, Tom. Happy to be on. We're getting ready to hopefully fly back. Had some mechanical issues yesterday, so we're here in Philly still, but planning on getting on back to the Lou here soon.
I appreciate that update and safe travels as you finish out on the East Coast there. You beat LaSalle. Might not have been your prettiest game, but you know what? In the end, the scoreboard shows 84-72, and I'll tell you, let me start with something that was very pretty. Have you seen SportsCenter yet? They put Kellen Thames in the SportsCenter top 10. What a ridiculous Harlem Globetrotters save to hit Quentin Jones for the layup.
Yeah, how about that? I don't know. I was shocked it wasn't number one. That was about as impressive a play as I've seen. I mean, to be on the full run, get the deflection, full run, jump in the air, go between the legs, and throw a dot to Quentin Jones led us to a transition layup. So, it was a remarkable play, and yeah. I mean, the first half, you go back, you watch the game, and I didn't think our defense was awesome in the first half. In the first 5 or 6 minutes, I thought from there, it was really, really good. I mean, you walk out of the first half, they're shooting 24%. They have 24 points. And I thought we did a really good job. We had a stretch offensively. I thought we weren't great, first, 8-10 minutes, and I thought we really got humming in transition and our movement in the half court and played with some purpose for us. Second half, I thought our offense was good to start. First 12, 13 minutes, and we're up 24. And then we just, I thought our defense the whole second half was bad. Down the stretch, last 7 minutes, we were pretty poor on both ends. But, as you said, I mean, this LaSalle team's a team that, plays really hard. They're athletic. They have good players. They're well coached. They have an identity. They're a team that, George Mason came in here and, LaSalle led for 37 minutes. They had the lead in the final 2.5 minutes. They went to G-Dub at a lead with 10 minutes to go at their place. And so it's a good team. It's a good win, but certainly we want to play to a standard for the entire, 40 minutes and have accountability to that and regardless of, score. And I thought we were sloppy second half, certainly defensively the whole half, and last 7 minutes offensively.
Well, no question, when you play an A-10 team, you have to play a full 40 minutes no matter who it is. And against you. I mean, if you're going to beat St. Louis University, you better be ready to go for 40 because your team can score in bunches. To flip on to the offensive side, I mean, you had a 20-point lead at halftime, a 19-4 spurt, as you mentioned, locking down defensively, just one field goal for LaSalle over the final 5 minutes of the opening frame. I mean, that is just remarkable. Yep. And I thought Quentin was a big part of that. I mean, Q with a pair of big baskets, then that three by Sharma. That was a fun spurt.
Yeah, when we get when we're engaged, and I mean, I don't want to make it like, look, we're second in the country in effective field goal defense, and we're second in the country in effective field goal offense. So it's not like, we're pretty good on both ends. But the defense triggers the offense. In that segment, I mean, it was, our defense and our rebounding. Now we're out in transition. I thought, we talked about the play with Kellen. We had a great, spray ahead and throw across to Eshawn. Got the ball downhill in transition. But it all started with our defense. I thought in that segment, we were elite defensively. We really were. We were, LaSalle's a big paint team. I thought we kept them out of the paint. Thought we did a great job of closing off possessions. And in that spurt, I thought we were about as we were elite on both ends of the floor, which is what we're trying to play to, is get to our identity offensively, our identity defensively, and as much of the 40 minutes as we can get to. And in that stretch, we certainly were to that, and that's where the game opened up. Brady Dunlap, couple big shots. We offensive rebounded. There's a number of things in that stretch I thought we did at a much higher level than we did in the second half.
When you look at the fouls, what concerns you there? I mean, here we are with 26 of 39 at the line for LaSalle and 16 of 22 for St. Louis. I mean, that's a big difference there. Are you concerned about that, and how do you analyze it?
Yeah, you're gravely concerned about it. Because really the 39 to 22. I mean, one of their, two of our free throws were a technical foul on them. So it wasn't a foul. It was just a technical foul on them. So really, if you're looking at free throws inside the game, it was 39 to 20. So they basically doubled us in free throws. And, and then DCU, I mean, it finished 24 to 16, but they fouled us 3 times in the last 90 seconds to, because we were up. They were trying to foul to get back in the game. And so really in the guts of that game, it was 24 to 10. And the same thing was true at St. Joe's at home. So, it's an unsustainable way to play. I mean, I've got to look at it from, how much of those are we fouling? I've done this a long time. I've never seen, such a disparity in free throws. We're 3 games in. I think it's, 87-49. And again, out of those 49, 6 are late against VCU and 2 are on a technical foul against LaSalle. So it's really, 87 to 41. And I've got to figure it out. We've got to obviously try to do our part, which is play without, fouling. We certainly got to be better at getting fouled. I feel like we're driving it. I feel like in all 3 games we've, been the more forceful team. If you look at, points in the paint, we've kind of dominated that in all 3 games inside the league. And, in the 13 games we played prior to going in the league, it wasn't an issue. So I don't know if it's changed. We're fouling more, and we're getting fouled less, but it's something we're looking at. I'm certainly trying to talk to, the people, in the A10 office about, what we need to do on our end, and certainly, see if, why we're not getting fouls when we're driving and there's contact, and why we are getting called for fouls. And again, what can we do to clean it up on our end? What can we do to be, and get foul calls on the other end? And then, again, I just, usually, it's not, but normally the fouls are usually free throws, usually close to even or in the ballpark to even most games. Where you have 3 games in a row where there's a massive disparity. It's certainly a cause for concern, not something that's sustainable for us to keep winning if we're going to give up, 15 to 20 more free throws every single game than our opponent.
Josh Schertz, last thing is you have a game on Wednesday night against Fordham. Look at Fordham. I mean, what did we just say about the A10? You can't sleep any time. I mean, St. Bonaventure is considered to be an upper-level team in the league, and they get beat at home by Fordham, 81-77 yesterday. Here we go with a huge game at Chaffetz on Wednesday, and I bet you'd love to see a big crowd like you had on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, absolutely. Fordham, Mike's done a really good job there. He's a great coach. They've got a really good team. He's done a wonderful job with them. And so they were close. They went into Dayton. I think they lost by 5 or 6 at Dayton, and then they go into St. Bonaventure, get a big win, and they're becoming here, certainly, flying with confidence. And so, yes, excited to get back home. Would love to see our crowd, rocking. Like I said, when Chaffetz is going, I've been at VCU, I've been at Dayton. I'd put Chaffetz up there at the top of the list of any venue in the league. When it's full in terms of the acoustics and how loud the fans are and the energy they provide. So, big time home court advantage. It's a great time to have it here as we get into the depths of conference play. So hopefully fans come out and support it. I do think Fordham's got a really good team. I think Mike does a good job with them. It'll be a really challenging game. As you said, every game in this league, is conference play is just unique, and so we'll have to be ready. Looking forward to getting home. Guys have a day off today, and then we'll get prepped starting on Monday here for a really good team.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think at the end of the season, when you have your end of the season Billiken highlight reel, there should be an interlude of just Thames, just Thames, just doing crazy stuff.
Every game there's at least one, usually more than one, but every game there's at least one crazy Kellen Thames play that he does that nobody else nobody else can make. I don't know anybody else in college basketball that can do some of the things that he does, and certainly we're lucky to have him. We know that, and he's been a huge part of this run. And if we're going to do what we hope to do, he's going to be a big part of spearheading that.
Enjoy the conversation as always, Coach. We'll see you Wednesday.
Sounds good, Tom. See you Wednesday.
Thank
Take care.
Josh Schertz, head coach of the Billikens, with us. Our visit sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. We'll check in with the St. Louis Blues when we come back. You're listening to Sports on a Sunday Morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
The 29th annual Winter Warm-Up is coming back to Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village, January 17th and 18th. Admission passes and player autograph tickets are on sale now. Team up with Cardinals Care to support St. Louis area children by purchasing your tickets now. It's one of the best events of the year with family-friendly activities, including tours of the Cardinals Clubhouse and admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Right? Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
That's right, baby. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode, which means all customers are going to get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So here's how it works. Each game day during the wild card round, you're going to find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. So pick the matchups you believe in. For example, I'm a big believer in the Bears covering against the Packers this weekend, so take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your Profit Boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Great to be back with you with our producer, Drew Young. I am Tom Ackerman. We have now a little discussion going down about hockey, and coming up next hour, we will dive into all kinds of stuff, including the NFL playoffs. We'll go back into that. The games yesterday were crazy, and there will be some more today, including 3 big ones that I will pick at 11:05 and one tomorrow night as well. So I'm going to do all 4 of those. Then at 11:15, Don Fischer, the voice of the Indiana Hoosiers, will be with us back on the show again as Indiana takes on Miami in the national championship on the 19th. At 11:30, Cardinals president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom and Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. That's a pretty good hour, I got to say. Now, the Blues late last night, played Vegas, and they lost the contest. Final score was 4-2, but I think of bigger concern even than that is the loss of Philip Broberg. Not sure yet how long he's going to be out, but he was hit by Mark Stone. Stone then was beaten up by Braden Shen in a fight in that first period, but it was very early in the game where Broberg, who had just inked a 6-year contract extension with the Blues for $48 million, was hit by Stone into the boards and left the game. Here's Coach Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, to lose Broberg. I mean, really excited to play. The team was excited for him after announcing his extension, and unfortunately he got injured there. We had to go down to 5D in 3 and 4 nights.
How is he?
He's doing all right. We'll have to see day by day here, see how he responds tomorrow.
Last night, Snuggerud takes a tough hit. Schenner sticks up for him. Tonight it's Broberg. Schenner sticks up for him. What more can you say about the leadership Schenner brings to your group?
Well, he's just an incredible teammate. He wears the C for a reason here. It's special to have someone like that on your team that is always going to do the right thing for his teammates.
Why do you think the momentum shifted to them after you guys got an early lead? Or did it?
No, it did. I think, the last 10 minutes of the first period, the territorial advantage, we had trouble getting out our end, and it felt like the entire second period was in our end.
Did you see enough urgency after you fell behind?
Yeah, I thought that in the third period, I thought we pushed. We didn't generate enough shots. We're passing up too many shots. But, we did push. We had the opportunity with the pulled goalie. Unfortunately, we didn't execute, and they were able to end the game.
You wanted to see your special teams improve. Tonight you get a power play goal. You didn't give any up. Do you feel like there was some movement in that area?
I do. I thought the power play was good. I thought we looked crisp. We looked cleaner. It's a step in the right direction.
And last one, you had some good stretches of hockey on this trip. You said that about the other games, but it didn't result in wins. Just how do you kind of keep your head up and keep the boys moving to get the momentum you need?
No, I mean, this is a tough league, and you just got to keep improving daily, and you got to keep working at it together. And the only way out of it is to do it together, and that's what we'll just keep on working on.
That's Jim Montgomery, Blues coach. He said right there that Broberg was, quote, doing all right. We'll have to see how he responds tomorrow, so we hope to get some positive news from the Blues on that. Broberg, they're calling it an upper body injury. He was skating along the boards. Mark Stone, who's been known to do this, hits him into the boards just 1:35 into the first period. Broberg did not return to the game. Braden Shen, as I mentioned, threw down with Stone. After the game, Montgomery with his comments, and Broberg was in the news earlier in the day with a 6-year, $48 million extension. Here is GM Doug Armstrong.
Well, it's exciting to have him here for this year, plus 6 more. That basically takes him right through the meat of his prime years. And you know, he's been one of the few bright lights in a season that hasn't gone anywhere near the way we expected. He's a player that I think on the back end we can build around. He touches right now, you know, our penalty kill, our 5-on-5 play, getting incorporated a little bit more into the power play now, which I think he will take a bigger chunk of that as time moves on. So a cornerstone player on the back end that it's nice to have in the fold. And he and I had a good conversation this staff that, you know, he's held up his end of the bargain, and now it's up to the management to hold up their end of the bargain and put a team around him that can have success.
Doug, it's Matt. Just when you look at Phillips' year last year, obviously it was a breakout year for him. But this year, when you look at what he's done, has this year really been the year that has opened your eyes to him being a cornerstone on the back end?
Yeah, I think last year we were obviously very pleased, you know, coming into a difficult situation with the offer sheet and the pressure that went with that. I thought he handled it well, and quite honestly, we wanted to take the first half of the season to allow, you know, a more normal path for him this year to see where his game was at and where we think it's trending towards. And I've been very impressed with his game. I'm very, very impressed with his demeanor, quite honestly, as much as his game. As things go awry with this year, he's one of the few people that just is able to come in every day and do the task at hand and do it at a high level.
Doug, when you guys made the offer sheet, obviously you liked his future. You know, he's just done a remarkable job as a shutdown guy, playing the minutes and, you know, the stick. And like, did you know he had that kind of ability and that it would come as quickly as it has?
Well, I think his draft position was indicative of how he was perceived, you know, that year. And I think that, you know, yeah, I think I know we thought he was going to be a very good player, whether he was going to be a 1, a 2, 3, or a 4. He's certainly into that at worst a 2, 3 now, and trending towards a 1. That power play will help that, you know, change that narrative to a definite 1. But a player that we use in very difficult situations, defensive zone starts, you know, closing out games when we have a lead. Playing against other teams' top players. So he's you know, I'm not surprised that with what he's doing now. And I do think too, it's an indication that developing is not a rocket ship. It takes layers, and you know, I got to give the Oilers credit. You know, they brought him along at a pace that was good for him, and now his foundation is so strong now, and I think that's partly due to how he was brought in through proper development, and so I really believe that he's got staying power now because of his foundation.
Blues GM Doug Armstrong on the extension for defenseman Philip Broberg, 6 years, $48 million, and you can hear them talking about the value of Broberg. That's why this injury hurts them so much, an upper body injury that they're going to try to figure out his status and give some news on that moving forward. The Blues also are having their induction ceremony tomorrow night at the Missouri Athletic Club, the Blues Hall of Fame. They're going to induct Al Arbor, Barrett Jackman, and Alexander Steen. Steen, a member of the Stanley Cup winners in 2019. He is the GM in waiting for Doug Armstrong. 12 seasons with the Blues. 12 seasons. And ranks among the all-time leaders in games played, goals, and points. He was a longtime assistant captain. Barrett Jackman was also an assistant captain for 9 seasons, 13 total in St. Louis, 803 games, the most by any defenseman in franchise history. You talk about two warriors right there in Steen and Jackman. Jackman was the top rookie in the NHL, the Calder Trophy winner in 2003, and just had a fantastic career and stays with the Blues now as their director of alumni. And Al Arbour, who was part of the original Blues, who won the conference and went on to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row. He later served as the team's head coach, and he actually went on to become one of the great coaches in hockey history, won 4 consecutive Stanley Cups with the Islanders. He's a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and Al Arbour, a foundational figure for the Blues, is now part of their Blues Hall of Fame. That induction ceremony will take place tomorrow night at the Missouri Athletic Club, and it will include Kelly Chase. He is going to receive the True Blue Award, and what a special individual he is. Just one of the great people. A radio analyst, beloved voice, ambassador for the organization, one of the toughest St. Louis Blues ever, and that fight continues as he has battled cancer, and we are all behind Kelly Chase. We're going to take a break. When we come back, our 11 o'clock hour is going to be fun. We're going to do NFL playoff picks. Don Fischer, the voice of the Hoosiers, Chaim Bloom of the Cardinals, Bernie Miklasz, all next on KMOX.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
News, talk, Cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Vicki Barker. With protesters in Iran continuing to resist deadly reprisals from government security forces, and with President Trump repeating his threat to intervene.
With the increase in violence, the chances of U.S. intervention are on the rise. Iranian leaders are having to gauge what level of force against the protesters might trigger a military response from the U.S.
Khosrownagi from the BBC's Persian service. The Iranians have threatened to hit U.S. targets abroad in response to any U.S. strike. And Senator Rand Paul wonders how workable President Trump's threat really is, telling ABC this week.
I don't think it's the job of the American government to be involved with every freedom movement around the world. And I do believe that bombing them may have the opposite. It's like, how do you drop a bomb in the middle of a crowd or a protest and protect the people there?
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he'll be meeting this week with Danish officials about the future of semi-independent Greenland. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
President Trump says the U.S. will take over Greenland, either by buying it or through military force. Danish political scientist Rasmus Brun-Petersen says a U.S. military takeover would threaten the future of NATO.
If you see the strongest power in the alliance attacking weaker defended areas in the alliance, then there is no point of joining NATO, and there will be no point of seeking cooperation with the United States on security matters if they take our territory.
Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. President Trump says the U.S. needs it for national security.
More anti-ICE protests scheduled across the USA today over last week's shooting death of Renee Nicole Good by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, which they call murder. But Trump administration borders are Tom Homan telling Fox News Sunday.
You can't compare this to murder. Murder requires malice, and that is just dangerous to put that type of language out. Let the investigation play out. And see where
Trump administration officials have denied Good was a peaceful protester, with some referring to her as a domestic terrorist. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a Somali descendant who represents Minneapolis, told CBS's Face the Nation.
Let the investigation take place before you characterize this mother of three as a domestic terrorist. Prove to us what documentation you have.
The world's 1.4 billion Catholics are observing the Feast of the Baptism of Our Lord today, marking Jesus' baptism by John. And at the Vatican, Pope Leo presided over the baptism of 20 children. Continuing a tradition begun in 1981 by Pope John Paul II. This is...
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsor.
At 11:03, it's sunny and 32 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning, I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, St. Louis police have arrested a man for a spree of break-ins on North Grand. It appears the window smashing happened early yesterday. At least 6 businesses, including the fabulous Fox Theater, were hit. Lily Clark is owner of Boca Boba. She tells Fox 2.
It looked just like someone had thrown like a brick or a rock through the window. We took a walk down the street and all the other businesses, their windows were broken completely. So it was like you could step from the street inside their places of business, which I'm sure is terrifying to walk into.
The suspect was arrested at the Fox. He's identified as 49-year-old DeJuan Ferguson. Police say he used his fist to smash windows and at one point threw a trash can through the glass at the theater. He's been charged with 6 counts of first-degree property damage. There are several unanswered questions as to why the American flag was flying upside down at the Ferguson post office on Friday. John Clark is a veteran.
If the United States has to fly the flag upside down, it is considered a nation in distress.
It's not clear who or why the flag was hung upside down, but Clark tells our partners at Fox 2 the flag should never touch the ground. It should always fly above any other flag. Postal workers quickly fixed the issue. St. Louis is making national headlines. First, monkeys on the run in the O'Fallon area. Then a Facebook post shows a goat on the lam on Union Boulevard in the city yesterday. He has a collar that's black and white. So far, there have been no reported sightings of the primates. The city identifies them as vervet monkeys. They are very smart, but also unpredictable, so officials warn not to play around with them, call authorities, and in fact, animal control is going to pass the issue along to experts in primates. Due to the temperatures dropping below freezing tonight, the city has extended the code blue. That provides additional shelters. Level 2 means 150 extra beds, and people need to call 211 to get into the shelters.
KMOX AccuWeather this afternoon will be mostly sunny but chilly, high 39. Clear low 29 tonight. Tomorrow sunny and milder, up to 54. Tuesday limited sun, high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Decker on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Bill. Right now it's 32 in St. Peter's, Florissant, and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
All right, an hour on the clock. Here we go. A lot of stuff coming. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer at 11:15. Chaim Bloom at 11:30. Bernie Miklasz, 11:45. Big week for the Cardinals as the winter warm-up is approaching. We'll talk to Chaim about the latest additions. I don't know if he can talk about Ryan Stanek. It hasn't been officially announced yet, so, just don't be prepared for that, actually. If he says he can't comment on it, we'll just ask him in general about his direction. Still haven't inked or traded for a position player to help the big league club that I'm aware of, but we'll see if there's anything brewing from Chaim Bloom. We'll talk to Bernie about it at 11:45. And I can't wait to catch up with Don. He is elite when it comes to calling sports, voice of Indiana University football and basketball, and he did both in a 24-hour period. He did the game down in Atlanta, and then he flew back to Bloomington and did the game yesterday, basketball game at home against Nebraska. He is something else. At the age of 75, he just keeps on moving. It is unbelievable. Right now, talk about unbelievable. What a day we had in the NFL playoffs. Let's roll the music and do some picks for the playoffs. There are a lot of things to discuss right now when it comes to this amazing sport of football. And I love college football, as you know. And I can't wait to be a Raiders fan when Fernando Mendoza gets picked number 1 so I can re-enter the NFL playoff craziness. I do miss it. And it's been a long time. I don't know if people realize, but the Rams ownership ripped the team out of here and went to L.A. unjustly and horribly. And all the while, even when they were here, they tanked the team on purpose, so that these great sports fans of St. Louis who came out and spent their money, hard-earned money, on tailgate supplies and gas and tickets and $15 beers, got to watch a horrendous football team not even sniff the playoffs. So it's been a long time. But what we see here, it can be very entertaining and gripping. And last night, a wonderful win for the Chicago Bears, which we played you some highlights earlier in the show. If you didn't catch it, you can rewind to the beginning of the program. Caleb Williams and the Bears come back, beat the Packers 31-27 in a great game at Soldier Field. Before that, the aforementioned Los Angeles Rams got the win at Carolina 34-31. Had to do it in comeback fashion, surprisingly, but they got it done. Let's talk about the 4 games today, and we'll start things off with today's game. Scott Jagow's Buffalo Bills are on the road to start the playoffs. They have to take on Jacksonville. Buffalo's a little banged up. Jacksonville's been hot. They have been on fire. They have not lost a game since November 9th when they fell at Houston. That's right. They have won 8 in a row. Just an unbelievable, a wagon, as they like to say. That's what the kids say these days. Buffalo's going to beat them. Okay, you ready? The Buffalo Bills will show up today. They're 1.5-point dogs. Take them. Bills plus 1.5. Josh Allen and the Bills are not going to miss this opportunity to make a run. I don't know if they're going to do it. I'm picking them to do it, to win the Super Bowl. Don't know. I can't look into the crystal ball for you, but I think this is their opportunity. They have the best quarterback. They have the most experienced team. and they have a team that doesn't have to contend with Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. They're all out of it. This is the alley now. This is the opportunity to get it done. Bills plus 1.5 today at Jacksonville. 3:30 kickoff, San Francisco at Philadelphia. It's hard to pick against the Eagles. They are so good at home this time of year. They make games ugly. They just find a way to do it. I talked earlier in the 10 o'clock hour about Bob Weir, and I know that the 49ers were his love, and there will be a lot of sentiment there from the fan base and everybody else to win one for Bobby. I think they can stay in this game. I just don't know. I don't even know if they can cover the spread. I just see the Eagles kind of grinding this out and finding a way to win this. And I'm going to take the Eagles -6. Just a gut pick here. And then tonight, look, it's anybody's guess what type of Patriots team will come out tonight in a playoff atmosphere, because this group hasn't done that. I mean, Mike Vrabel is an excellent coach, but it's a different group. I still think the Patriots, even though I hate the half point here, will cover. I'm going to go Patriots -3.5 at home against the Chargers. And then tomorrow's game, the night game, you got the Texans at Pittsburgh. Houston is a 3-point favorite at the Steelers. And everybody loves to watch Aaron Rodgers, I guess. Well, not everybody. But he's got a great history through the years. I just don't know, man. He doesn't look like half the time he's even close to what he used to be. And this Houston defense, I'm surprised they're only a 3-point favorite. Maybe just because it's in Pittsburgh. I got Texans covering this -3 on the road at Pittsburgh. The Texans are a much better team than the Steelers are. I mean, good for the Steelers if they pull that off tomorrow. And I know it's a playoff game and the crowd and blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is the NFL. I mean, these are professionals. They shouldn't be affected by that. Texans should get the job done and move on. Houston -3 tomorrow at Pittsburgh. Those are your picks, folks. Hope you enjoy. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football with Don Fischer, the voice of the Indiana Hoosiers, next on KMOX.
Let's go. The NFL playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every moment feel bigger. In the postseason, the game shifts fast, and with DraftKings live betting options, you can stay right in the moment. Plus, DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. With DraftKings, you're covered through the entire half. Why bet player props anywhere else? New customers, here's your shot. Bet just $5, and if the bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use KMOX. That's code KMOX to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Additional terms at dkng.com/audio. Limited time offer.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP10 for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP10. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP10 for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Here's Dante Moore ready to take the snap. Drops back, throws the football. There we go! Intercepted! D'Angelo Pines! Touchdown!
Wow, what a great call that is. What a great crowd that is. Listen to that noise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where Indiana beat Oregon 56-22 to advance to the national championship game on the 19th. And the man calling that game on Indiana University Radio Network is Don Fischer, the longtime voice of the Hoosiers. Joins us once again on KMOX. Don, how are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
I am doing great. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I got in the car yesterday and ran some errands and I heard you calling the basketball game against Nebraska, I'm like, look at him making the trip back to Bloomington. He's back in Assembly Hall in his seat and calling some basketball. That is so impressive. I know it's what you do, Don, but you sounded great.
Well, I appreciate it. We've had a phenomenal run here, and we've never had, at Indiana University, we've never had the football season get past December, so it's pretty special to be a part of that. And of course, I've got basketball duties as well, and I take great pleasure in being able to do both at this time of my life. So it's a lot of fun, to say the least.
It is fun indeed, and you have a great time on the football broadcast. I love hearing the two of you together. Buck is just a joy to listen to, and I go back to when the team wasn't good. I mean, just hearing him groan and complain and be upset, that was good listening to me because I was feeling that way. I mean, just to put it in perspective, Don, for people who don't understand how long a grind this has been for people like you, for Buck, for all of us who have followed this football team.
Yeah, it really has been. And, this is my 53rd year doing IU football and basketball games. I started in 1973 when Lee Corso was the first head coach I worked for. And it was his first season as well. And he had 2 winning seasons in those 10 years he was at IU. And then, of course, Sam White was there for a year. And then Bill Mowry came in, and for 13 seasons, we actually had some pretty solid football. I mean, Bill was a terrific coach and old school as they get, and everybody enjoyed him. He had great respect of his players, and the fan base loved him as well. But then, of course, he kind of went afoul there at the end. He had a couple of losing seasons back-to-back, and our fan base was grumbling because we weren't going to a bigger bowl game in some of those years. And so the history of it, of course, is pretty negative, but the worst negativity came after Bill was let go. And since 1994, Indiana had 3 winning football seasons until last year. 3. And one of those, one of them was the 8-4 season leading up to the COVID year. And of course, in COVID, they went 6-2 that season. And there were no fans, of course, and it was the most dull and boring scenario you could imagine for a 6-win season. But at the same time, we just haven't had any success like this. And what Curt Cignetti has done in Indiana, and I called it a renaissance without question, but what he's done here is just spectacular.
It really is. And I go back to having graduated in 97, so I was there for the final years of Mallory. I was in the room when it was announced that he was going to be out at the end of the year, and the tears in his eyes and his players' eyes. I was not in the room, although I watched the press conference when Terry Hepner placed the bowl on the podium with a rose inside it and said, "This is the goal." And I think about him during times like this, too, the loss of Terry Hepner, because there was a little magic at that time that perhaps something could happen with this football program.
Yeah, and the saddest part of that is that Terry Hepner, who was an Indiana guy, he was from Woodburn, Indiana, up around Fort Wayne, and he's one of my favorite all-time people, not just coaches, but just as a person, just a wonderful man. And he had that Pied Piper in him to get players, to get them to come to IU, to talk to them and mesmerize them with how his philosophy was going to work. And I was convinced he was going to be the guy. And then, of course, he was diagnosed after his first season with brain cancer. The next year, he actually had 2 games he missed because of the illness. And then, of course, after the season was over with, he was in bad shape. Everybody knew that he was not going to make it. He had glioblastoma, which is basically a death sentence when you get that kind of brain cancer. And he passed away in June of the next year. And obviously Bill Lynch took over. And that first season that Bill Lynch was there, that's one of those winning seasons that Indiana had, because they went 7-5 that year. They beat their arch rival Purdue Boilermakers on a last-second field goal. It was the last 20 seconds or so of the ball game in which Austin Starr kicked a field goal. And Indiana went to a bowl game. They went to the Insight Bowl and of course, got beat down there. But nevertheless, it was a winning season. And that's the last one we had until Curt Cignetti. Well, I shouldn't say that because obviously the 2 years under Tom Allen, too. But again, 3 seasons of winning football from 94 on, that tells you really basically all you need to know.
Yeah, the Austin Starr kick is one of your all-time great calls, and I think it was because of the emotion that was being let out at that time, knowing that maybe this is it, that they can do this. And you mentioned Bill and Kevin and Tom and everybody who tried to carry the torch, and now Curt Cignetti. And describe what it was like, Don. We just played the call, but from your perspective, to be there in the building on Friday when D'Angelo Pons jumped the route, picked it off, and ran it in for a touchdown.
Well, as you heard, I went nuts. So did Buck. I mean, it was such an unbelievable play to start a ball game against a team like that, because Oregon's a really good football team. And anybody that doesn't believe that really doesn't know what they're talking about, because this is one of the better teams and one of the better programs in the country right now. But the fact of the matter is, to start it that way, and basically, it didn't deflate Oregon, because they came right back down and scored in their first drive of the ball game and tied it up. But you just knew what Indiana was doing in this contest was going to win it over at the end. And, of course, it ended a lot sooner probably than the Oregon fans would have liked, because they were not really in the ball game in the second half.
How does Miami beat Indiana? And if we look at these two teams right now, we're going to really dig in. I know Cignetti's been digging in for the last 48 hours plus, but what does Miami do well, and what should Indiana be concerned about?
Well, I think their defense is really good, and I think it's really physical. They are a very physical football team. And the one thing that struck me in watching them against Ole Miss, I was surprised at how many mistakes they made and still were able to win. The number of passes that were dropped or that should have been intercepted by their defense and those kinds of things. But the thing that does concern me about them is they are a really physical defense, and they're going to try and get to our quarterback. And Fernando is, of course, a guy that has run really effectively this year, even though he was running for his life all last season. He was sacked like 40-some times when he was at California. But he knows he knows what he's doing out there. Always your concern is, and I'm not bragging here, Tom, in any way, shape, or form, but I don't believe Indiana's going to get beaten this game. I just don't. I have the same feeling I had when Bob Knight was the head basketball coach in Indiana in 29 seasons. every time I did a ball game for Indiana in that time period under Knight, I thought Indiana could win and would win. But I feel exactly the same way about Curt Cignetti. I just think the guy is so good, so smart, and is obviously so committed to what he does and his process and how he goes about coaching and running the program and all those little things that people don't know about behind the scenes. This guy is just remarkable. And I know Miami's good. I think they're a good football program. Obviously, Cristobal has done a great job with the program and gotten it back to where people want that program to be, the U, as we all say, with the quotation marks on either side of the U. But I just don't believe that Indiana has any real weaknesses. I think they're a football team that is built on their strategy, the things that they do defensively just awes me, because I think Brian Haynes is the best defensive coordinator in the country based on how he gets his defenses up and ready to play and the things that he does to disrupt quarterbacks and those kinds of things. So, as much as I want to say I think Miami's got a really great football team, and I'm sure they do, I just don't think they can beat us. I just don't.
Indiana has Cignetti. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, then final thing here, if you could take us behind the scenes a bit, because I think that people look at Cignetti on the sideline and they see his preparation and his game management and think he is a human analytics machine. I mean, he just has this incredible brain, but I suspect there's another side of him, because, Don, you can't just recruit great players. You have to recruit players that fit what you want to do. And I sense that he has a great eye for the human element of the game as well. What is he like as a people person, people skills?
Oh, he's great. I mean, he's consumed with football. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And anybody that's met him would tell you first thing that he is consumed with football. But he is a guy that understands what he needs to do. He's a social guy. When you're around him, he greets people. He's not afraid to sign autographs. He does the things that he's expected to do, of course, and then he gets right back to football again. But in my interviews with him over the 2 years he's been here, I find him to be very personable and very honest. One of those guys that doesn't mince words. He tells it just exactly how he sees it. And that's one of the reasons I think fans have fallen in love with the guy, because when he goes out there and tells you that he thinks his football team is going to win a ball game, he's dead on. And he hasn't said anything in the 2 years I've been here that he hasn't backed up with the actions and with the ability to rein his team into the point where they are ready to play every time out and they are ready to win every ball game that they play. That's the thing about him. And again, like I said, he's consumed by football, Tom. I'll just tell you that right now. But he is not above the social aspect of it either.
Can't wait to get down there. I look forward to catching up with you. I'll drop in and try to see you while all the chaos is going on. It's the Hoosiers and the Hurricanes down in Miami. And thanks so much. It's great to hear you on KMOX again.
Well, thanks for having me, Tom. I really appreciate it.
Great to visit with the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer, on KMOX. When we come back, Cardinals president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom, will be with us. You're listening to the Stiefel Sports Studio.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
That's right, baby. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode, which means all customers are going to get a Profit Boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So here's how it works. Each game day during the wild card round, you're going to find a pack loaded with multiple Profit Boosts waiting for you in the app. So pick the matchups you believe in. For example, I'm a big believer in the Bears covering against the Packers this weekend, so take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your Profit Boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your Profit Boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's 11:30 on the dot. And welcome in Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, Chaim Bloom. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Chaim. How are things?
Doing all right. How are you?
Doing great. It's great to visit with you as the Cardinals get closer to winter warm-up. It'll be your first as president of baseball operations. The fans are going to be back in town, players, alumni, front office, manager Ollie Marmol, etc. What are your impressions so far of what that all means and what that'll look like?
You know what? I'm really excited for it. It's actually something I haven't gotten to experience, even having been in the organization a couple of years, and heard so many good things about just everything it offers. Obviously excited to see a lot of our staff and a lot of our players start getting some excitement built for spring training. You know, during the off season, we communicate with those guys all the time, but they're not with us every day. So to have a lot of them under one roof will be exciting, and especially just to interact with our fans. I've gotten to do that increasingly over the past couple of years, just being in the community. But obviously, this is going to bring a lot of people together in one place, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
I know that they have all kinds of opinions and thoughts. They're good fans. I mean, they know the sport as well as any fan of any sport, I would say. Cardinals fans go back generations. Just in general, what do they say to you when you visit with fans? What are people asking you, wanting to know, and what do they think about the club?
Yeah, really good question. It varies person to person, obviously. And, you know, I've come to learn over time, people will say different things to your face than they might say behind a keyboard, so to speak. You know, you leave it up to you as to speculate which is more true to life. You know, in general, I think the big thing is exactly what you said. This is a fan base that is absolutely locked in on this team. I've talked about this before. Obviously, it's no secret. We haven't had the attendance recently that we've had prior. We really just need to earn our fans back. And that's something that, I hope we will be able to do as we work to deliver those results that we and everybody all want in the coming years. But loving this team, caring about this team, there's not an on-off switch for that. It's not optional. It's something that, when you're a fan, you're a fan for life. And I just want to respect and honor that by being as upfront as I can. The thing that I've noticed is when you have a fan base that is this devoted to the team, they're paying very close attention. They just want to know what's going on. They want candor. They want honesty. And I've done my best and will continue to do my best to provide that. Well,
I appreciate that. And I know the fans do. They appreciate this segment. You've been very transparent with us. I know that there are rules, and you probably, I'm going to guess, can't talk about the various reports, many widely reported, that you've landed Ryan Stanek, the hard-throwing right-hander. Is that the case? I haven't heard any official announcement that you can't comment?
Yeah, you are right. I can't address that report specifically, but we've said all winter that having experience in that bullpen is really important, not just because of what players with that experience can bring to you on the field, but also because of the example, the leadership, the mentorship they can provide to a young group. We've seen that the last couple of years. We've been fortunate to have some great veterans in there. It's something that I've seen not just here, but really everywhere I've been, that usually even when you have a young group out there, good pens come together better when you have someone who's been there, done that, can lighten the load, can show people how to handle those ups and downs as they're learning to do that. It's something that I think is an important aspect of a lot of really good bullpens. So we've definitely been on the lookout this winter to try to bring that in.
And Justin Brule is one of those, somebody who grew up in the Dodgers organization. That lefty is exactly what you're talking about, isn't it, Chaim? Getting right into your bullpen with some experience.
Yeah, and we saw a chance here to snag someone and bring someone onto our 40-man roster that we think is a chance to help us from the left side. As a chance to compete for a role, and we do like a lot of the talent we have with our young relievers, but we're a lot more right-handed, just generally speaking. So adding left-handed depth is really helpful. Justin's been a few different places in his career, and we do think he has a chance to really help us, and excited to have him come in the spring and compete for a job.
You also announced that you made agreements whole with a number of players on one-year deals to avoid arbitration. Alec Burleson, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore, Lars Nootbaar, Andre Palante, Jojo Romero, all have been in agreement now with the Cardinals. I would imagine this is twofold. Arbitration's not fun, not a fun process to have to go through. Two, you wanted to have everything in place as you continue to look around here in this offseason for help.
Yes, it's always ideal to get to settlements. You're exactly right. Arbitration is not a lot of fun, at least in my view, for a few reasons, not least of which is I never like any process that puts us really sitting across the table from our players. We like to think that most of the time our goals are aligned. We're trying to help them be as good as they can be. But this is a process where just, by its nature, obviously, when you're determining salaries, sometimes it puts you in opposition to them. And, you have to represent, it's really kind of it's a unique process. It's a little bit of a convoluted process with some weird aspects to it that determine where people slot in that salary structure. Sometimes you just don't see the world the same way, and that's when you have to go to a hearing and have a third party decide it. But you'd always like to find common ground. And my view of it is we never want to do something that we don't think can be justified within the system. And if you have to go to a hearing, you're just not seeing the world the same way, then you do it. But if there's something you could squint at and say that it looks fair and the other party's doing the same, maybe everybody gets a little uncomfortable. But if you can come to a settlement where everybody feels like it's fair enough, then it's much better to go for that and then get back on the same side of the table with our players and work towards trying to help them get as good as they can be and so they can help us win.
I heard from some fans that are ready for you to bring in a position player. They're getting a little antsy on that. Matt, some of that might have to do with the fact that a report came out about Alex Bregman and the Cubs. But anyway, where are you on position players when you look around and see what you might be able to add? Is the market good there? Is it favorable for you at the moment?
Yeah, we're not super close on anything there, but we've been active in discussions, and obviously there's some balls in the air with our own guys as well, just trying to see how that all settles. I do think when it's all said and done, we will have added to the position player side of the group. I've obviously talked about that. You and I have talked about that in past weeks. We just haven't done it yet, but it's definitely something that we're looking at, working on, and working to do, whether, that comes through free agency, through trade. I don't know. We certainly do like a lot of our position players here. Coming into the winter, felt that the pitching side of it was what needed more beefing up. But we do, especially having moved from our position player group to this point, we do want to add to it as well. And I do expect we'll do that, by the time we get hopefully to Jupiter and certainly to opening day.
Jupiter is fast approaching. How does that all work for you in terms of minor leagues? Do you have everything settled in terms of your minor league coordinators, leadership? Are you still adding to your development? I guess that you're always sort of adding, but are you happy with how everything is in place in terms of a coaching standpoint? It certainly seemed like you wanted to add as much as possible throughout the minor league organization.
Yeah, very much so. And we are so fortunate to have the support of ownership as we continue to build out this organization. It's not something we take for granted, knowing obviously a lot of the challenges that the organization is facing, that they'd be willing to invest in that because they know it's our lifeblood. So we obviously started that process last year. We were able to continue it this year. Never say never, but we did really roll out a staff that we feel is a complete staff, that this is our minor league player development and performance crew for 2026, and really excited about it. Much like last year, I think we're going to have a really good mix of people who have been here, returning Cardinals, whether they're in the same spot or whether they're taking on new challenges, and also some great newcomers to the organization in different spots, whether it's on our affiliate staff, whether it's in our coordinator and leadership group. Really exciting. So much of the goal here since we started this project has been to take the perspectives and the experiences of people from different places, whether they are lifelong Cardinals or whether they're new to the organization, combine all those things to try to push us somewhere that's better than where any one individual has been before. That's just what the game demands. That's what we have to do because it's so competitive to try to get the most out of our players. We were really happy with some of the strides we made in 2025. But we know there's so much more work left to do, and we're excited for this staff to take us forward and hope to get to new heights in 2026.
And from a Major League staff standpoint, how does that look as you head into 2026? And what have your offseason conversations with Ollie Marmol been like? I noted that the two of you were pretty much on the same page last season before you officially took over as president of baseball operations.
Yeah, and that relationship is so important, as you know, and it was really cool to be able to start building that, just to get to know each other, see that there was a lot of alignment, and we've continued to build that as we've gone through the off season. We've really had conversations with the whole staff about how we can get better just in executing on our plans to help our players, how we can take some of the lessons that we learn and some of the things that we were able to implement at the minor league level, figure out how to apply some of those lessons at the major league level, because player development is not something that can stop at the big leagues. Sometimes you talk about player development and it's kind of a shorthand for your farm system. And, that there's good reasons for that, obviously. But if we view this as something where when our players get to the big leagues, they're done developing, then we're just going to get beat. We know we have to continue to help them improve. The industry is showing us that. I don't know that there's been a time in the history of this game when teams have been this ambitious and this dedicated to continuing to improve our players. It's not just the X's and O's and where you make, which moves in game. It's also trying to structure each day so that players can get better, so that you can work towards goals that you agree on with the player and help them continue to improve. That's especially important with a young team, but it can really happen at any point in a player's development. And so we're really excited to do that. The staff's been great with being very open and participating a lot in figuring out how we can set things up behind the scenes to help us do that. And I'm excited as we continue to work on that.
Well, it's interesting you say that. You kind of read my mind there, because I often say what they want to do here is get this to a point where players can plug right into the big leagues and help this team win championships. They've got to stop getting to the point where they're still working on a player's fundamentals at the major league level. What you're saying is, yes, but we have to develop players on the go. I mean, even somebody like a Paul Goldschmidt, if he got into a rut, had to have people he could lean on to get himself out of that. I mean, even at his level, an MVP like Goldie.
Yeah, it's not either or. It really has to be both. Obviously, we want to do everything we can as an organization to make sure that when players are called upon to help us in the big leagues, when they are brought up, that they're ready to compete at this level, at the toughest level of baseball in the world. And so that obviously is our responsibility as an organization, to do everything we can to make that happen and develop and produce as many well-rounded players as we can. But then when they get here, that journey has to continue. You obviously want players who are motivated to do that. The number one most important person in a player's development is the player himself. There's no question about that. But we have a role to play in that too. And players are always growing and changing. I mean, a great example this year, I think, a real 2025 success story, I guess now I should say last year, you saw what Burley did. This is a guy who's already good enough to play in the big leagues. Nobody was looking at this guy and saying he doesn't belong here, or, he's not ready to be here. He's a good big league player. He took a real focus on honing in his strike zone and knowing that, swinging more at the pitches he can damage and less at the pitches that he can't was something that could help him get to the next level as a player. He put together a really, with our help and with our hitting team's help, put together a good practice plan to help work on that. And then he saw the results on field. It sounds very simple, but it's really easy at this level just to go through, days, months, seasons without being as purposeful as you need to be to get to that point with a player. And we can't let that happen. That doesn't mean every time you come up with an idea that you're always going to get the types of results, the types of step forward that we saw from Burley this year. But you have a much better chance to get there if you do have that kind of purpose to how you plan and how you practice. And as an organization, we owe it not just to our players, but also to ourselves, to our fans, to do that at scale with everybody.
Appreciate it, Chaim. Good answer there. And in terms of painting that picture with Burleson and the perspective that you're trying to achieve. Thank you very much for all of it. We will see you at the warm-up. I think you and I might be scheduled for a little chat on Saturday afternoon, it looks like. So I look forward to that right here on KMOX. We will visit with you soon.
Great. Likewise. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait and hope to see everybody there.
See you over there. Chaim Bloom, president of baseball operations of the Cardinals. Bernie Miklasz is next on KMOX.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live. It's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming App University that can help enhance your everyday life. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
The Menards 15% off bag sale is here. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it, if it fits in the bag, you save 15%. Need new tools? Updating your bath or faucet? Or simply want some snacks? Put them in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in-store at Menards and find out how much you can fit in the bag. Now through January 24th. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
Nominations for the 2026 Women of Achievement are now open. The St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. Head to KMOX.com for more information.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
And here is Bernie Miklasz in our final segment. We get to visit with our dear friend, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. What's up, Bernie?
Well, just, congratulations to you and every other Indiana fan out there. And actually, congratulations to the whole Midwest. I think the Hoosiers kind of represent everybody a little bit, especially against Miami, right?
Yeah, that's right. Kevin Wheeler doesn't want to hear that, but I just had somebody, David Brandon, said, enough with the IU. I'm happy for you, but geez, I looked at his profile. Oh. He's a Mizzou fan. That's fine. I understand it, but I didn't even talk about him except one segment with the Jack Buck of Indiana sports, Don Fischer. So sorry about that.
Great. Well, I also think the other thing, aside from Indiana or whatever teams I like or whatever, the college football national championship is huge. And whether Tom Ackerman went to Indiana or he went to Purdue or he went to New Mexico or he went to Stanford, the Indiana Hoosiers are a remarkable generational story. There hadn't been a bigger college football story than this, in an incredibly long time, because Indiana defines the whole new era of what college football is. And so the idea that perhaps we shouldn't talk about it as much, I think it's kind of silly. But hey, more power to everybody who has an opinion. That's fine.
I know, but it's fun anyway. I like stirring things up. We do have a story here that is brewing that they could end up being one of the all-time greats. And the other thing about them is they're fun to watch. They're one of those, even when they're in a blowout, you still want to watch it because it's a great brand of football. I think that one of those teams in the NFL is the Chicago Bears that's starting to catch some fire here. People are enjoying watching them rally. They are the comeback kids, and here they are again. They beat the Packers. They are in the divisional round, and my Bears friends are going absolutely nuts. I mean, they still can't believe that thing was pulled out last night.
They should. I mean, they're very entertaining. And, this combination of a head coach and a quarterback, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, is something that could, at least on the offensive side, dominate the NFL or be one of the dominant quarterback combinations of our times, because Caleb Williams needed Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams is a really gifted guy. He's also a guy that wants to be great. I mean, he's not a knucklehead. And listen, sometimes, highly regarded rookies drafted number 1 overall quarterbacks, the first years can be awkward. They're still trying to figure things out. There might be a little bit of a knucklehead moment here or there, but Caleb Williams is, the bottom line is he wants to be great. He wants to be a leader. He wants to be considered, when he hangs them up, like one of the best quarterbacks of his generation. And then you have Ben Johnson. I remember Mike Martz telling me in 2023, he said, this guy is Mike Martz used to just watch those Detroit Lions tapes because he was fascinated about how great Ben Johnson was. He said, this guy's very, very special. He's the best play caller in the NFL, and he's just getting started in that job. And there's no one more creative than him. So you take Ben Johnson, who is extraordinary in terms of offense, plus in coaching quarterbacks, and he's exactly what Caleb Williams needed. And Williams in his second year made light years progress. And if you're a Bears fan, what you got to love about him, like last night, you know how you can tell a quarterback is primed for greatness, who has what it takes to be great? Caleb Williams, frankly, was awful for 2.5, maybe 3 quarters. I mean, he just wasn't very good. Well, what do the great ones do? They shake it off. They're like, hey, man, we still have a quarter to go. We still have, a quarter, maybe and a half to go. Now, this thing's not over with. And he shakes off all the negativity and everything that happened before. And then he is at his absolute best with his team about to go over the cliff. If you're a Bears fan, he says 7 comebacks this year. 7, where they take the lead with less than 2 minutes left. I mean, for a second-year quarterback, are you kidding me? So they're going to have to build a defense, but you look at those wide receivers, you look at how they run the ball. I mean, they got the makings of a very special team, provided that they get more help on their defense.
Bernie Miklasz is with us, just got off the phone with Chaim Bloom. Couldn't talk about Ryan Stanek because it hasn't been officially announced.
Sure.
Understand that, but he is fortifying the bullpen. I guess let me ask you what I asked him. Where are the position players, and where are they there? Are you looking for them to make a move there, or are you willing to be patient, it sounds like he is?
Hey, I just assume he'll bring in someone, but I have no handle on who that might be, whether it be a free agent, is somebody that is part of a trade that he makes. I just don't know. I don't have a feel for it. But to the fans, and I understand the fans. In fact, I'm on their side on this one. I don't expect Chaim Bloom to fix everything in one winter. But I look at that outfield, and frankly, the idea that maybe they'll return with the same outfield cast intact, at least until Joshua Baez gets up here. When will that be? I don't know, second half of next season, possibly. I mean, this outfield is a great, great, great source of concern, because offensively, frankly, it is terrible. I mean, in every stat that there is where you measure the Cardinals offense from the outfield compared to the other major league outfields, it's down near the bottom. I mean, it's pretty feeble. Lars Nootbaar, if he's still here, he's capable of having a better season. Jordan Walker at some point is going to have a better season. Victor Scott, I think, listen, we all love what he can do well, but the second half of last season, his offense just, basically disintegrated. And, for the Cardinals to become a competitive team, and I don't expect everything to be fixed this winter, but over the next year or so, when they're doing their planning for 2027, and even though Baez will be part of that mix, they're going to have to address the outfield. They just need more juice in that outfield.
And as well as I do that when the Cubs make massive moves like they just did in the last few days for Edward Cabrera and Alex Bregman, that irritates Cardinals fans too. Not that the Cardinals were going to compete with them this year,
right?
But it's not any less irritating.
Well, yeah, I get that too. I'm able to just sort of put it in a different part of my brain, And what I mean by that is what the Cubs are doing in terms of trying to win right now and try to, win 2027, where they're going to open up a window where they're going to go for it. It doesn't really apply to anything the Cardinals are doing. I mean, the Cardinals, even if they spent some money this winter, perhaps were more aggressive about getting established major league help. They weren't going to outdo the Cubs this winter. The Cubs are on they're absolutely determined to go for it, and they're finally spending some money. But the other way I look at it too, and I know Cardinals fans don't want to hear this. And by the way, Cardinals fans can think whatever they want. I'm not telling them how they should feel. But I also look at the Cubs, and they're going for it now, and they have Bregman, who is 32 years old. Their shortstop Swanson's 32 years old. Which, when the time left on their contracts, both of those guys will be, as these years go by. Bregman will be 37 in the final year of his contract. Swanson will be 37. They've got age on that team. And in some cases, by the time the Cardinals are really, really ready to win again, the Cubs may be having a problem with some aging veterans who are on the downside. The thing I think the Cubs did best of all is, get Cabrera, because he's a controllable starting pitcher. He's got 3 years left. He's got to be healthy, and he's got to fix his fastball. Their rotation should be good, and I think they were smart because they upgraded their bullpen. They brought in 4 relievers, and actually it's 5 if you count one other guy who probably can make their team. So, the Ricketts family finally said, okay, yeah, let's quit acting like a mid-market team. Let's actually try to win something, because the Cubs can outspend anybody if they wanted to.
I've always felt that way too. As a big market team in the division and the only one. They absolutely could own that thing if they wanted to. The goal here is to get the Cardinals back to being National League Central royalty and National League royalty. We'll see how long that takes, but it is a process. Bernie, it is a pleasure, as always, to be with you. We will be watching you on YouTube. We will be reading your columns, and we will be having you alongside here on KMOX. Cannot wait for a fun 2026.
My pleasure, my friend. Always great being with you.
Good to be with Bernie Miklasz on KMOX Sports on a Sunday morning. Bernie's reports are sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and you got to follow him on YouTube. It's a must. Always good to be with him. He'll be on the Gas House Gang on Tuesday. Chris Ranji will be with me. Well, Ranji's going to be riled up tomorrow for the noon show as a Bears fan. Thanks to producer Drew Young, I'm Tom Ackerman. This has been Sports on a Sunday morning.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat.